Let's get started. We're doing two things tonight. First, the bagel. So what is a bagel and where do they come from? Who knows? To quote an article from the New York Times, a bagel is a round bread made of simple, elegant ingredients: high gluten flour, salt, water, yeast, and malt. Its dough is boiled, then baked, and the result should be a rich caramel color. It should not be pale or blonde. A bagel should weigh 4 ounces or less and should make a slight cracking noise and not a whooshing noise when you bite into it. A bagel should be eaten warm and ideally should be no more than 4 or 5 hours old when it's consumed. All else is not a bagel. Well, tonight, the bagels we are baking aren't really bagels. But once you make them and taste them, I will let you judge for yourself where they fit in the bagel world. A little history. The bagel is thought to have originated in Poland in the 14th century. They seem to have been morphed from a fat German pretzel. Jews initially were not allowed to bake bread at that time because of the connection of Jesus and the sacrament. But Poland became more enlightened than other European countries, and Jews were allowed to make bread that was boiled, and thus the bagel got its start. The first written records of the bagel date to the year 1610. They showed up in the community regulations of the Polish city of Krakow, which dictated that bagels were to be given as a gift to women after childbirth. Back in medieval Poland, their round shape led to the belief that bagels had magical powers. Like the round loaves of the challah we eat on Rosh Hashanah, to symbolize a full and complete year to come, the round shape of the bagel was believed to bring good luck in childbirth and to symbolize long life. When bagels moved to the New World, they became an almost exclusive Jewish food like blintzes. But with time, they became softer and sweeter and mass-produced, and now are a mainstay of our American culture. America eats more bagels than they do eat donuts. Who can resist the 550-calorie bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich on a bagel at McDonald's? How long does it take to make a traditional bagel? According to the first item that popped up on my Google search, 3 hours and 20 minutes with multiple steps. How long does it take to make these bagels? As little as 20 minutes. And it requires no yeast, which is almost impossible to find during these trying days. We are going to make 2 batches, which make 4 bagels each. The first is to demonstrate the procedure. The second is for you to join in. So let's get started. We mix our ingredients. First, okay, I'm gonna have to show you the ingredients. Hold on. Okay, by the way, here's some of the bagels I made earlier, just to show you how they end up looking. Anyway, so we mix our dry ingredients and we use, it calls for unbleached flour. Why unbleached flour? Well, actually all flour is bleached, but bleached flour you buy in the store is chemically bleached, and unbleached flour is naturally bleached by the oxygen. Unbleached flour is coarser and a little more yellow, has a little yellow tinge as compared to the real white bleached flour. And to the discerning, bleached flour has a slight bitter taste. And in many countries, they don't even allow you to use bleached flour, like in Canada and all of Europe. The finer grain of the bleached flour allows it to absorb more moisture, so it works well in cookies, pancakes, and pie crust. The unbleached flour is better suited for yeast breads, puff pastries, and popovers. But in truth, They can be used interchangeably without much of a problem. So if you have regular bleach flour, don't sweat it. I also want to thank my daughter Pam, because she's the one who turned me on to this, and it's like her discovery. So she did a great job. So here's our dry ingredients. Okay, so we put together, okay, the flour, the baking powder, and the kosher salt. And to that, we're going to add 1 cup of non-fat Greek yogurt. Okay, so I'm going to add that to it. I've learned to use just a little less than a cup of the Greek yogurt. The reason is because it seems a little too wet sometimes, and this way it isn't. And then you just start mixing it up with a fork. And then it's going to get kind of crumbly. And you got to mix it real well. And that's what I'm doing. Just mix, mix, mix. Knock a little off the fork there.
Murray, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. There's a question. Do you ever use bread flour for these bagels?
I haven't, but I just started making them. But you can use whole wheat flour, gluten-free flour. There's all kinds in the recipe, different things. And besides using the yogurt, you can use either vegan yogurt, or you can use silken tofu, the soft tofu. We've made that with it for Mary, who's a vegan. So we're just mixing them up best we can, and then we're just going to grab it. Next, I'm just going to put a little flour on my parchment paper here on the bit, okay? And we're going to grab it together. Now, this is where, once you get it all together, it says you're supposed to knead it. Now, I'm not a bread maker, and I know when you make bread, you knead forever and ever till you're, you got like big muscles or something if you're a kneader. But I'm just getting this going here. Okay, so I just sort of squish it together. I mean, I've tried to knead it, but if you knead it, you push it with your palm and you fold it over, and God knows what else. So it shouldn't be too sticky like this. And I just smush it together, kind of. And it seems to work for me. Okay, so you get a big ball, and then you take this, and you cut it into 4 pieces. So I put it in half, and half, and half, and half, okay? Then you just take each of these little things, make them a ball. I'm having a ball, by the way. And, okay, so we're gonna do that. And then there's 2 recipes in here, one for the air fryer, one for baking. And they're really pretty much similar, so I really didn't pay much attention to that. But I do use the air fryer, and we'll show you some more things about the air fryer later. So I've used that for a whole bunch of things. So there's 2 ways of doing this. You can take this, and you can roll it into like a long string, and then this is a little dry, so maybe I cheated too much on the thing. You can roll it into, well, into a, and then sort of make it into a bagel shape. But of course, flatten it out a little bit so you see like it kind of looks like a bagel a little bit as we put it together. The rest of these, I'm just going to make them into a little round thing, and I'm going to make a hole in them. To me, that seems a little bit easier. So we're going to make a little hole. Okay. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to go ahead and turn on my air fryer over here at 280 degrees, and I'm just turning it on so it warms up a little bit. Okay, so we have 2 more to make. And again, I think I'll just go with a finger in the center here, as you see, to make a little hole. Okay. Now, after we do this, we're going to brush them up with a little egg white. It says in there to brush all the top, the bottom, and everything else. I just do the top kind of because in the air fryer, I found it might stick if I do the bottom. And so it seems to work out better that way for me, but you can try it. The air fryer just takes a lot less time. Time is of the essence, especially during these days when you have so much to do. So I'm just fashioning that. Okay, so we got 4 of these little honeys. They all sort of look like little bagels. And what we're going to do is take our little egg white here, and we're just going to brush it up. See this? Sometimes they'll pull together so well, but it'll be fine. We just brush the sides and the top. And this is when you can get creative. There's all kinds of stuff you can do with these. As far as topping, it tells you some things. I've tried that everything spice. I've tried chopped onions. We'll do a little bit of that. We have a lot of sesame seeds for some reason, so it's a good way to get rid of those. Or I guess you could do it plain. And if you're a vegan, you could probably brush it with water, and you won't have to have any of the egg white stuff here that would violate your dietary needs or wants or desires. Okay, so we got that on, and I think on this, a couple of these, I'm going to put a little bit of the sesames. Just shake it on, shake, shake, shake. And I think on a couple of these, I'll put some of the everything bagel stuff on it. And it says to put it on top or bottom. To me, most bagels just got them on top, so that's what I do. So they're all set, ready to go. Just make sure these holes, I like to have a hole in my bagels, so make sure they're good and open. Play around with them a little bit. And then what I'm going to do, take a little pan on my air fryer. I'm going to take these and stick them in here. And there's usually enough room for the 4 of them. So you see them. And I'll push them aside because you don't want them touching because they're going to expand a bit. It's on the proper temperature. I'll put it in for, that's on the proper temperature. I'll put it in for 16 minutes or so. And we're going to go on to the next one. Let me just get some of my mess out of the way. Now, on the other one, I'm going to show you how I got a little more creative. I decided to make a couple of them cinnamon raisin bagel. So we'll just throw this stuff aside. And we're back. Okay, so I divided the other thing in half. So I can make 2 bagel of one kind and 2 cinnamon raisin. So if you're doing this at home, start doing it, start playing around. I'm just gonna, so with the cinnamon raisin, on Mary's suggestion, I put the cinnamon inside. It was because the yogurt's kind of sour a little bit. And so this stuff makes it a little bit more sweeter. Okay. All right, so we just get those things going, and we find our yogurt here. And what to do with my other yogurt? Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, so I got to mix both of these up real quick. Oh, latecomer. Okay, so you just mix it up. Same deal here. It gets real crumbly. Don't let that fool you. It's good. A little more yogurt out of that. Okay, go to the other one. Mix that up. All right, everything going okay, Chad?
Yeah, seems to be. I'm putting up the recipes in the chat again. There might be some duplication in there, but if you came in after I first put them on, you might not see them. So I'm posting them
I
again.
can't hardly hear you, so.
I was just saying that I'm putting the recipes in the chat again,
Okay,
in
good.
case anybody missed them before they came in.
Okay, so this seems all excessively dry. So I'm going to get some more yogurt. Yeah, so the rule of thumb is when something doesn't seem right, fix it. You can always fix things. There's nothing that's like absolute. Recipes are made to mess with. Okay, let's get to this guy. Put it back together. Play around with these things. This is a good time. And I hear my air fryer going. It's doing a great job. Almost twice as fast as the oven would be. Wastes a lot less electricity. It's very important in this world. Okay. So I'm going to throw that aside. Get a little flour again. Put that up. Got two small ones here. Put my finger in the middle. Got one going. Put my finger in the middle again. And got the second one. Move it along here. So almost like a donut or a bagel, almost. All right. I'm just going to get the cinnamon raisin together. Smells good. Again, the consistency, you'll just sort of get the feel of it. So still that, and I'm sure that the sugar and all that stuff has an effect on how this is. All right, let me get rid of that. Yep, and if anybody wants to come and volunteer to help clean up afterwards, if you're wearing like 2 masks and 3 gloves, it'd be okay. I don't like cleaning up. All right, we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to just get these down, stick a finger in the hole, or make a hole with your finger, I guess. And just pat them down a little bit, make them look like bagel. I think that's part of it. If you can see something that looks like something, then maybe it is something. Very profound. Okay, so with these guys, just did them. What I'm going to do, okay, is go back and do my brushing. Brush, brush, brush. And I'll brush over here. And over here. Okay. Very good. Everything's coming together. All right. Okay, so with the cinnamon raisin, I'm just going to put some more cinnamon cinnamon sugar on top. So these have a little more calories. Now these bagel, just with plain stuff, only has like 152 calories. So it's like great. Okay, these guys, I think I'm gonna put some messy gloves on it and some onion flakes.
There's a question, if you're using a regular oven, what temperature and for how long?
Well, it says, I think it's at 375, and it's about 25 minutes. And you should put it on, like a sill pad or something like that, or, parchment paper that's, okay. All right, so we don't want that there. I'm going to take my gloves off because they're all messed up. Put a new pair on. All right, let's see how our thing's coming here. Still has a little bit of time. So here's what it looks like so far. Okay, kind of like donuts, or they're not donuts, bagels, that's it. Okay, so we're gonna move on. So while we're moving on, I have to switch gears a little bit. So Chad's gonna show you a little video about the air fryer. I'm a big air fryer guy, I don't sleep with it, but I do have it close at hand at all times. So we're gonna show you little things about the air fryer, and I don't get a commission, so don't worry. Okay, take it away.
Hi. Do you ever wake up in the middle of the night, say around 3 a.m., wide awake, and then turn on the TV, and this is what you see?
All love fried food. French fries, wings, onion rings, fried chicken. But who wants to deal with the mess and added calories? Deep fried food has been linked to high cholesterol, heartburn, acid reflux, kidney problems, and even cancer and Alzheimer's. Now you can have all the fried food you love without the added fats and oil. Introducing the revolutionary New Wave Brio Digital Air Fryer. The New Wave Brio uses superheated cyclonic air to cook all your foods up to 50% faster while cutting calories by up to 70%. It's faster cooking that's better for you. Now make crispy air-fried French fries in just 8 minutes, crunchy onion rings in 10 minutes, and juicy homemade air-fried chicken in only 25 minutes.
Healthy and fried don't usually land in the same sentence, but I'm making healthy fried food at home that my family loves.
This is my hot air fryer. I use them for many things around the kitchen, including cooking these bagels. My hot air fryer, in fact I have 2 of them, do the trick, and I will show you with a quick demo. Take a regular potato. I cleaned it, then sliced it into French fry-like sections. I then placed the sections inside the basket from the air fryer and spray them with a little Pam. I placed the potatoes inside the preheated air fryer at the proper temperature for the proper time and let it go. Every once in a while, every 10 to 15 minutes, you can take them out and shake them a bit and then replace them. And then we'll see the results. And here are the results. Our healthy French fries. After about 24 minutes, they look delicious, crispy on the outside, warm and juicy on the inside. I just want to add one disclaimer. I am not, as rumor has it, on the payroll of the Idaho potato growers, so just wanted to let that be known. Thank you very much.
Okay, Chad. Wow, wasn't that great? I'll tell you, I couldn't believe it. All right, well, the hot air fryer has done it. I took them out a little bit early, but here are the bagels that we just made. Don't they look good? And if you cut into them, you'll see that they are just look like bagels inside. Let me show you one that I cut into before. You're supposed to let these sit for a while, but here's one that we had cut into. It doesn't, there we go. So they look pretty good. And here's, so bon appetit, or te bon, as we say. Okay. So we're moving right along here because, you know, this is a lot of fun here. We get away from there. Okay. So we're about, you know, so I love that air fryer, as you can see. And we had to move over to the other part of our kitchen, because, you know, the thing that we were doing was dairy. Now, the thing we're doing now is parve made on meat equipment, so we had to transfer everything over. So while you were enjoying that video, I was working. So next, we're going to do the parve chocolate cake, and this is from Mary's recipe. She makes this, and it's like the best. I love it. So let's go ahead. Let me tell you a little bit about chocolate cake. Chocolate cake has been with us just for about 150 years. And it came on the scene, I guess, in 1764, which makes no sense. That's a little more than 150 years. Well, whatever. And it was discovered that grinding cocoa beans between heavy stones produced cocoa powder, which could then become chocolate. And then 60 years after that, Conrad van Houten discovered a method by which he could mechanically extract fat from the cocoa liquor and produce cocoa butter. And the long story short is that that's the main reason that chocolate is actually affordable today, thank goodness. By the way, January 27th has been deemed Chocolate Cake Day, and in these crazy times, we're just getting around to celebrating it today. But also today, May 7th, is Password Day, which was recreated to remind us to keep our passwords safe and guard against identity theft. It's also the alcoholic drink Cosmopolitan Day. And I think that the Ocean Spray people had something to do with creating that. And I guess you'll be safe as long as you don't make your password Cosmopolitan, or drink Cosmopolitans while you're making your password. So, okay, so let's move on. So the next thing we got to do, it tells you to do, here's a bunt pan, and you're supposed to spray it. We're going to spray it with some baking Pam. I mentioned my daughter Pam's name quite a bit in this, by the way. Anyway, so we did that. It's all set. All right, then we're going to take some of our dry ingredients. Let's lay this down here. Okay, the dry ingredients. And I've already put together the flour, the unbleached flour, of course, the baking soda, the baking powder, the sugar, everything else is in there. The one thing that I didn't put in was the unsweetened cocoa, which I'm going to add right now, because I like to combine those two colors. It's very nice when you do it. And the other thing is the pudding. Okay, this is the pudding that we have here, and it's a Jell-O brand, which has an OK on it. It's kosher. Now, lots of Jell-O things aren't kosher, so you have to be kind of careful. And they put a K on some of their gelatin products, and there's a minority opinion, like in everything Judaism, that says it is kosher, but most people don't believe that. So we're gonna just add that to it, and then we're gonna whisk all this stuff together, whisk, whisk, whisk. And that's it, and try to get a nice homogeneous mass here. I don't know, it's a little bit light here. Let's see if we can shade lights. Okay. All right, so we're getting that all mixed up here. It's beautiful, very easy to do. Okay, and then we have to add all their liquid ingredients, okay? So we have some, all right, we have here non-dairy creamer, no milk and cream and coffee rich, or rumble. We have 3 eggs. Just throw those all in. We have a little bit of vanilla. And we have some mayonnaise. Get that all in. And then we have the canola oil. So as you can see, very low calorie. All right, we're gonna take this stuff, start mixing it a little bit, and then we're gonna get our mixer, and then it's gonna mix for 2 minutes. So Chad, if you can tell me when 2 minutes is up, because I have no sense of time here. We're gonna get this. Okay, we got our little hand mixer. I'll do it pretty slow. Okay. Mix, mix, mix. Probably could have a deeper bowl, but you know how it is. More of a challenge. Maybe this, if I breathe in this cocoa dust, it'll prevent any diseases. Just get in here and mix, mix, mix. Got a nice velvety, smooth, chocolatey, delicious. The kind you want to lick, spoon with. Okay, so it's going good. It's a little bit stiffer as we go along. And it's just going right. Everybody's having a good time. Okay.
We have 1 more minute to go.
All right. Is that enough time?
About another 40 seconds.
Okay. Well, you know what?
But if it looks good, is it an instant or cooked pudding?
It looks good to me. You know, time is on my side. Yes, it is. Well, you know what? That's good. Okay. So what we got to do then is stick it into the bunt pan. This is a little bit tricky because it's kind of heavy. So I usually, you know, like a little spatula and let it flow. Try to show you it coming in. And it's kind of nice, you know, it's not too hard to do. Maybe if you had a strong person to hold the bowl, that would be good, but it's probably the most exercise I've had today. It's like weight bearing, so that's good for my arms. So we're just going to get it all in here.
Murray, I have a couple
Yes.
questions in the chat.
Yes.
Okay, can you use almond milk instead of no dairy creamer?
You know, I don't know. I haven't used it. I think no, you know, I'm not a connoisseur. Maybe ask Mary about that, but I don't really know. I think that the non-dairy creamer is a little thicker, so I would think that I would say probably not, to be honest with you.
Are you using an instant or a cooked pudding?
An instant pudding.
Is it
Instant. And you know, it's interesting. This instant pudding in the recipe calls for osem or whatever, and it's 3.3. This one is 3.9 and its weight. So, but it all seems to work. So that's it. So now I got to go bake it for what, how, or whatever, at 325 for 45 to 50 minutes. And Mary says it usually takes a little bit longer. Well, through the miracle of, excuse me 1 second. Tova told me you get chocolate all over you no matter what you do with chocolate. Anyways, through the miracle of whatever, the cake is already done. Unbelievable. How do you like that? So we have a cake, and so we got to do the next step. The next step is to put on the glaze, and this is the fun part. So we take that, and about a cup of carved chocolate chips, and then we put into it, you know, that non-dairy, what's that stuff called? Non-dairy frozen, ready to whip, liquid, you know, whatever. Anyways, we put that in. I got to turn on the stove, and we're going to melt that all stuff together. I had a hard time finding that, or they have it at Heinz. Oh, Rich Whip, thank you very much. I heard a voice from God knows where. Okay, so it's going to take a little time to do that, but you saw how nice and thick and even this stuff is. And so now I'm going to have 2 cakes instead of 1, which is really good. So we're just hoping that this warms up. It's just take a moment or 2. And it's pre-warm, so I probably could use the microwave, but I kind of like doing it on the stove here. So we'll be fine. So anybody have any questions?
Was it Hellman's mayonnaise?
Actually, they were out of Hellman's mayonnaise, but that's usually probably better. I ended up using, here, I'll show you this. I used Kraft mayonnaise. So, but Hellman's, you know, Hellman's is a tried and true. But, you know, some places are out of things. And I haven't gone shopping, so I, for the most part, rely on Instacart and then the kindness of not strangers who have helped me out a little bit on certain things. So that's very nice. But we haven't gone anywhere in the last almost, I don't know, 7, 8 weeks or whatever. So it's like getting a little crazy here. And we're just mixing it. It's starting to melt up real good here. So just a few moments and we'll have our something to drizzle as I splatter it all over the place. Actually, you know, I really have no idea what I'm doing most of the time, but I just do it. That's the fun of cooking and baking, especially baking. Cooking, it always seems like you can salvage something. Baking, I don't know. Okay, so this is just about there. Just mixing it up. Okay, I'm gonna just start the drizzle. So we just drizzle some on. Now, when Mary does it, it's like real artistic and beautiful. But you know how it is. We all have our things. Now, one thing you got to do is you got to have it on a wide plate, because if you start drizzling and the plate just kind of fits the cake, you're going to be drizzling all over the world, which I'm doing anyways. And you can make it artistic, or like me, just slop it on, because why not? The more is the merrier here. It's really good. So we'll get this done, and then I'm going to probably have to take some of this to Chad and Toga for all the work they did, you know. But it's good. It is wonderful, and it's hard, which is like, oh my God. So I'm overdoing it a little bit, but what the heck? I like it almost everywhere. Okay, so that is pretty much it. We're just about done. Now we have a little bonus, if you'd like. We have a video I made on the hot air fryer on how to make your own onion rings from scratch. So it's again one of these really high-tech videos put together. So this is like the biggest mess in the world, but you know what? It's good and it's well coated and it'll be delicious. And in no time it'll be gone probably. And I'll have to do exercise videos instead of cooking videos. All right. So does anybody else have any questions?
There's one more question. Can you use olive oil-based mayonnaise?
You know, I don't know. I would think it'd have a little taste to it personally, because I saw that. I would stay away from it personally, but you know, to each his own.
Okay, I'm going to adjust the setting so that people can unmute themselves. Everybody's going to stay muted, but if somebody wants to unmute themselves to ask a question, we'll see how that works.
Can unmute. Oh. Hello?
Yes.
Show the video.
Hi, Murray. It's Adrian. It's funny that Marla made the same bagels about a week ago, and she sent me the recipe. I couldn't make it because I didn't have enough yogurt. But one of the things in the recipe, I don't know if you've ever done it, is you can add a partially beaten egg white to the yogurt. Have you ever done that?
No, I haven't.
Okay, I saw that as a possibility. I was wondering if you ever tried that. Okay.
Well, I like beating things, so maybe next time.
Okay.
Okay.
I was gonna say, whoops.
All right, and he's adding a little. This is another video. The video for the onion rings.
Oh.
Go for it.
Hi, we're going to make some onion rings from scratch with my air fryer. Here is our starting point, the onion. We slice our onion into 1/4 to 1/2 inch slices. Then separate it into rings. We whisk together the ingredients of baking soda, seasoned salt, unbleached flour, and black ground pepper into a homogeneous mess. Then we add some beer and an egg, and we whisk them together. Then we add some panko breadcrumbs in the third bowl. We take our onion rings and we first put them in the mixture of the flour and the other ingredients. Then one by one, we take them over to the beer and egg mixture, plop them in, and then we take them out of that, put them back into the first mixture, and coat them. Then we take them back into the beer egg mixture and then over to the panko breadcrumbs and put them on the rack. Here we have our onion rings ready to hop into the hot air fryer. Turn the air fryer on at 360 degrees for about 6 minutes. And here we have it, your homemade onion rings with some of the basic food groups of beer, egg, flour, and breadcrumbs. Something to enjoy in just a short, easy time with your air fryer.
Okay, well, that's the story. Thank you so much. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you can make some of these things and it helps you in your life and your future endeavors. So I guess that's about it. Any other questions? Okay, well, we will see you in a couple weeks.
There was one question.
Just stay tuned and check out the ingredients so you can cook along.
What's next week?
Next week, there's the Federation's annual meeting, and so we didn't want to take away about, a couple hundred people from them. So.
And can we print the recipe out from the Temple Bulletin? Can we print today's recipes out from the?
Yeah, it should be in the chat room now, or they screwed up some of it. If you look in the BJ B'nai Yeshurun webpage,
Good.
it's there too, and you can print it out from that.
You can do it from the newsletter also. It downloaded very easily. You can print it from there also.
You can go to today's calendar too.
Okay.
Today's calendar. So there's a lot of places, or you can call me up.
Yeah.
Nice job.
All right. Well, I hope you all had a good time. Thanks again to Chad. And I have to go because I got to go eat some chocolate cake.
All right.
Invite you over.
Thank you. Bye. Bye, everybody.
All right. Take care.
Uncle Murray, you didn't answer my question.
What's your question?
What do you do with like the seconds of like everything that you make so it just appears when it's supposed to?
Oh, I leave it on my front porch for people to steal. We've already had things stolen there, so what the heck?
Yeah.
Somebody asked if you can use regular yogurt for the bagels. Can you use regular yogurt for the bagels?
No.
Well, it says it'll be kind of sticky if you use regular yogurt.
We used Icelandic yogurt. It appears to have worked.
Oh, good. Well, most of us can't get to Iceland this time.
Too cold. Great job, Murray.
All right. Thank you.
Well, thanks a lot.
Thank you from Delaware. Thank you.
Oh, best wishes to all of you.
Greetings from Lyndhurst.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. See ya.
Bye.